We would like to welcome you to episode 5 of Foresight Building Company's Under the Hard Hat. Today we have another special guest, and I'm going to go ahead and let Harold introduce him.
All right. Hey, yeah, it's good to be back. Today we've got Robby Brown with us, current mayor over at Heflin, good friend of mine also, and he's been in construction for several years as well. So we wanted to bring him in and kind of get his perspective on some things, especially being a mayor now from his construction past. So welcome today, Robby.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
It's good to be here.
Tell us, just right out of the gate, kind of a little bit about, introduce what a lot of people may not know. A lot of people know you, but a lot about what you've done in the past in construction and your background in construction.
Well, we did a little bit of everything years ago. I kind of cut my teeth under Taylor Corp, under Tommy Taylor and everything. That was pretty much concrete, what we started out with. And then, of course, when I started my own business, we went to concrete construction. We seen that there was a spot there for concrete walls. Most everybody around here was still in that CMU stage.
Yep.
And so anyway, I just seen a niche for it, and we just jumped right in it and just basically went to work. And so we did a lot of concrete walls, and we did a lot of basements, a lot of homes around here that we've done. And we started gaining contractors because one of the values of using us is they didn't have to put the batter boards up. They didn't have to go lay it out. So basically the homeowner could give us a set of prints and just let us go at it. And next thing you know, they had a poured wall foundation. They liked it because it didn't leak like a block wall has a tendency to do. But block wall's good if it's sealed right and things like that. And it's pretty much the same way with a poured wall. But so we poured ourselves into that, and we started getting asked to do a lot of commercial jobs. Even Harold started calling, saying, "Hey, could you help us with this?" And I think one of the first jobs we did with you, Harold, was Ramburn Elementary. Didn't we do something up there at the Ramburn School lunchroom?
Lunchroom.
We did that lunchroom up there. So we kind of ventured over into the commercial market, and then once we got into that, it was on. We were doing clarifiers and a lot of flocculation basins. We was doing a lot of on the utility side, on the infrastructure side. So we did that over the years, and we stayed with that. We didn't really go outside that. And I had a man tell me one time. He said, "You got to figure out what you want to do and just get good at it." Because we was trying to run the bulldozers, we was trying to run the backhoe, we was trying to pour the sidewalk, we was doing all these things, and we just wasn't making any money. So we focused on something, and we become really good at it. I mean, we just kind of perfected it, and from that point on, we poured walls. So if you want to talk to Robby Brown, we was gonna talk poured walls. That's what we was gonna do, and we just stayed out of the grading market because what we realized, in the grading, a lot of these grading contractors were giving us a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
They were throwing work our way, so we didn't want to take no bread off their table.
Yep.
We wanted to make sure that they were taken care of too, and so they would refer us, and we'd put the walls in, and we didn't dig no basements, and we didn't grade, so it worked out good for all of us. But stayed with that. We built houses along the way to fill in time, built steel buildings along the way to fill in time, but we didn't do a lot of those because we stayed busy with the poured walls. But that's I started with Taylor Corp, and he liked to pour concrete too. So I guess I can credit Tommy Taylor for where I am today.
Yeah, you was talking about doing the Ramburn Elementary lunchroom. I've been knowing each other a while because that was there before I even went to school.
I don't even think you was born yet.
It's 2003, 2004. I was 3 or 4 years old.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I've been in it now about 31 years, so commercial. So yeah, I've been in it a while, but yeah, I forgot about that lunchroom that you did. But
yeah,
we've
it was
done
years ago, right there.
Well,
years ago.
I didn't know you were the one that did it. You did a good job.
Yeah, thank you.
I ate lunch.
You enjoyed eating in there, didn't you?
I enjoy eating anywhere.
You're a pretty big boy. I think you eat a lot in there.
I had 13 years of learning how to eat in there.
Yeah.
That's the only class I had an A in was lunch.
Was it?
Yeah.
I like it.
So anyway, with construction, with all that background in construction, then what kind of led you to want to run for mayor? Because I know when I heard you was running, I was like,
what's he thinking?
Yeah, Robby's running.
I knew you had the personality for it, though.
Yeah, well, hey, I appreciate it. I sound like a politician, don't I?
Well, I saw you as, as poured walls and commercial work and not as a mayor. But turns out it worked out great. But at the time, it was
Construction to politician.
Construction to politician. Maybe we need to do a podcast on that. You reckon? I don't know. Of course, I prayed a lot about it. It wasn't something that I just decided to do. I've always been kind of intrigued by politics. Try to keep up with it. I mean, even since I was in high school and everything. And then anyway, I had a gentleman approach me about running for mayor in Heflin when that come up, and I said, absolutely not. I got enough on my plate. I got enough to do. And so anyway, he said, well, just think about it. He said, we're kind of in some, a little bit of turbulent waters. He said, we think you might could help. And I said, okay, let me think about it. And so I thought about it, and I said, nah, I'm not going to do that. And, I believe in going to the Lord in prayer over it. And, I prayed about it. And I said, well, and everything about me, when I prayed about it, kept telling me that, hey, if you got a value and God has gifted you with something, you need to give back.
Yep.
And I'm a firm believer that God didn't bless any of us to hoard it up, to bless others. And I got to looking, and I said, you know what? I think I can be a benefit for the city of Heflin. I think I can help out in some different areas and kind of move us forward just a little bit. It's not that the prior mayor was doing a bad job or anything, or just different, you see.
Yeah.
And
something new is,
something new, just something exciting, just something to build on. And so anyway, had several of them reach out to me, and then I said, well, you know what? Let's dabble in it. Throw my name in the hat and let's see what happens. And then, of course, next thing you know, it's your mayor. So, I mean, be careful.
Yeah.
A little word of warning out there. Don't put your name in if
Well, I mean, I live in Heflin, and I'm not just saying this because you're on the show right now, but you've done a dang good job. And not tooting your own horn, but I saw you're talking about using your platform and using what God's given you to bless other people. I saw a post the other day on Facebook that somebody's driveway had washed away or the road washed away,
right.
and you went and handled it.
That's right. Well, we hadn't handled it yet. We're working on that
Gotcha.
right now and everything. So we still got work to do on that. We got a bunch of roads washed out right now. We're trying to get those in place first. Get people. We had I think between Ramburn and backside of Cleveland County, I think we had 51 people trapped that they couldn't get out of their houses. So we're working with that with the county right now. And, we're blessed because I got Emmett Owen right there alongside me, the commissioners. And, that was one thing when I come in. That was some of the turbulent times. It seems like that there was a separation. It seems like the city's arguing with the county, and then our police force and the sheriff's department didn't get along. Didn't nobody get along. And so, there in the first few weeks, I just held a meeting with everybody. I said, all right, here's what we're going to do. I said, well, we're going to mend these relationships. I said, right now, ALDOT don't like Heflin, Alabama, and everything else. And I said, if we're going to move forward, we got to do it together, and you got to be a team. And then so we just kind of buckled up. And I told Ross, I said, you go to the courthouse. You start working at the courthouse. I'm going to go to ALDOT. I'm going to start working at ALDOT, and then we're going to come together with the sheriffs. And so we just kind of just brought everybody together and said, look, let's move forward for the sake of the citizens. Let's move forward for the sake of the county as a whole. Yeah. And everything. Now, alongside Ramburn, I've got to work with Rodney just a little bit there in Ramburn, and so but we're there to help everybody because we're all Cleveland Countyans.
Yep, it's all Cleveland County.
That's exactly right.
So I guess you you really never, as you was growing up, you talking about you always was intrigued with politicians, but I guess you never really thought of that. Like ever.
Well, I did. I lost 2 elections before I made it to mayor.
Really?
I sure did. So I guess I was in my 20s when I said, you know what, well, I'm going to be a councilman. Okay. I'm right there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be a councilman, don't they? You know? No. Yeah, you want to be a councilman. I was like, hey, this will work right here. I got the brake shoes beat slap off of me. I mean, boy, it was disappointing too. I was like, man, this politics ain't what it's cracked up to be right here. Thought you'd be a shoe in, but I didn't become councilman, and then I run for commissioner one time, and I missed it by, I want to say it was 9 votes or something, so I didn't get that. And I thought, well, but you look back on those, and the good Lord has a plan for each and every one of us.
Yep.
And it's just in His time, and it's worked out, and He's blessed me, and I depend on Him.
Well, and those 2 losses probably helped you through the mayor race. I mean,
oh yeah,
helped you be where you are, and know that win or lose, it's gonna be all right. I'm
That's
glad you
right.
won, but
Yeah, you got to learn from it.
yeah.
You got to look at those losses and you got to learn from them.
Well, there's a lot seem to be happening in Heflin now. That
We got a
seem
lot
like
going
what's-
on. We forced, of course, right when we got in, the governor looked at it and said, man, that was chaos with the last election because you had the presidential election, you had your local elections. And she said, she gave us 5 years. She put an extra year. Whether you wanted it or not, you got an extra year. So anyway, we had a 5-year term right there. And so anyway, so we got to do a lot during that 5 years. Some of the accomplishments, and man, I'm gonna give a shout out to my council. I mean, they went along beside me because we were spending some money. We didn't really have no money, so when I first come in, we needed roads paved. We didn't have any money, and I said, "Look, boys," I said, "I poured concrete, but I think we can do asphalt." So I reached out to Lance Taylor with Taylor Corp. I said, "Lance, I wanna pave some roads." I said, "I got dump trucks. We got everything we need." And I said, "Can't be too hard." He said, "Well, I got the machine." And I said, "All right." So I rented a roller machine. And I got the street department together, and we started paving roads. We started over on Evans Street, and I said, "Let's start there," and we started paving the worst roads, and we paved for about, I guess, a month and a half or so right there. And
I remember that.
we realized we didn't want to pave roads no more.
Yeah.
That's pretty tough work for those boys out there paving roads, but it's an art form. It ain't like screeding concrete, I can tell you that. And it's hot. It's hotter than concrete.
Yeah.
So anyway, we paved some roads and, went from there. We realized that, the batting cages over there was just, they just wasn't up to par. You know what I'm saying? So we built new batting cages. They needed a little bus shop to put their bus in. It was just sitting outside running. So we went over and built that. But you was talking about a while ago how my construction kind of played in with Mayor. It's played in really hand in hand because we've been able to accomplish these things.
Yeah.
Now, when Rudy was mayor, Rudy did a fabulous job with the fire department and everything. I mean, he was a firefighter. He knew firefighting from the bottom up. I mean, and I'll tell you what, I'll put our fire department against any fire department in the state of Alabama. I mean, they're clean. They do their job. Jonathan Adams does a fabulous job as a fire chief. But I had a different talent, which was construction.
Yeah.
So I said, "All right, boys, buckle up. We're fixing to pour some things. We're fixing to do some things." And we've been doing that. We've upgraded the fire department. We did some things with it, the batting cages. We're in the process of building an animal shelter. Built a beautiful building out there. So I've been able to use it in that. And we're committed to paving roads twice a year in Heflin. So, and
That's good.
but we're not doing it. APAC's doing it. I got a little money now. We can hire somebody.
You also got something going on across from WM, don't you?
Oh yeah. I got that land been for sale for a while, and I had asked the council. I said, "Look, what is our long range plan? Where are we going with this? Where do you want to see Heflin go to?" And I said, "I've recognized some needs. I mean, we're still playing on the same ball fields I played on when I was a kid, and I'm 56 years old. And I said that's been a while, and everybody's always saying, 'Hey, we need more practice fields.'" I think that year we was doing about 140 kids between softball and baseball. Now we're doing over 300.
Wow.
So I said, well, we got to do something. And I seen that land for sale. And I said, that's it. We're fixing to build a park. We're fixing to do this. So we got a price on it and started negotiating, and the council was gracious enough to give me the money, let me buy it. So we paid for that. We didn't put the citizens in any debt, and that's
Amen.
Yeah, amen. That's exactly right. Well, we don't want the future to have to pay for these things. So, but anyway, we're going to boost some ball fields out there, some softball fields, some pickleball courts. We're going to have it for everybody. A lot of the concern around there is who's going to be able to use it.
Yeah.
But we want the Parks and Rec to be able to use it. But we also want you, if you want to take your dog out there or throw a frisbee or kick the ball around.
Pickleball's a big thing now.
Oh,
Pickleball is picking up.
I played it one time, and then I was beating everybody pretty bad. And
Kind of
they
like
won't let me play no more. I can't find nobody to play me.
we
bro.
talked earlier about your golf rounds, and I played with your son-in-law the other day. You beat him pretty bad too.
I beat him on a regular basis. If you can't beat your son-in-law, you don't need him as a son-in-law. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when I played with him, shout out to a guy named Landon Price. When I played with him, I thought there's no way he could beat you.
Yeah, there's no way he can beat me. I mean, let's say, he's had a good day every now and then, but you know what I'm saying? Usually what we normally do is just let him go find my balls. You know what I'm saying? Out in the woods, wherever they may be.
He's probably letting Dad-in-law win, right?
Yeah.
Well, I will say you said you was going to
No,
hit a
boy.
good shot, and then
Yeah.
he flipped the golf cart on you.
That's
And
right.
you didn't even get to put out.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He'll do things like
Only
that. You gotta
thinking
watch
about
him.
himself. That's what.
You know, they're selfish like that right there. You know.
But you know, you're talking about not letting the future generation have to pay for it. You know, most people that will pay now, like they're willing to do things and pay stuff, but they got to see results.
That's right.
And that's the problem. I think a lot of things happen. Everybody's got these ideas, and nobody wants to come forward because a lot of these people that's in positions like you, they don't never carry it any further. Like they
Empty
don't do
promises.
anything. Yeah, empty promises.
Empty promises. That's exactly right. You know, when I ran, everybody wanted to see the police station come back downtown. They wanted to see it's kind of out of sight, out of mind in a nursing home building over there. And I listened to everybody. I mean, I knocked on all the doors. I mean, I tried to hit every door in Heflin. And most of you business owners said, we want the police back downtown. We need a presence. So I started working. I applied for a grant in 2020. Right off the bat, I started applying for grants, writing them. I mean, I'd set up sometime 11 o'clock at night reading what the rules were, how to write it. And of course, I was getting denied left and right. And then I hired a grant writer. Somebody told me about a grant writer. I hired him. Yeah,
Helped you out a little bit.
Community consultants out of Huntsville. So Kevin come in, and Kevin Kessler, I'll give a shout out to him. But he come in, he said, let me help you with this. And we still write a lot of ours, but he'll write most of our infrastructure grants. But anyway, long story short, we just got the grant last year. Tuberville was gracious enough. He come in and recognized the need that we didn't really have a home for our police officers. And he said, what do you need? And we told him what we needed a police station. And so he gave the city of Heflin $2.3 million to build us a new police station. It's going to go right beside City Hall right there. So that's going to be a blessing.
And yeah, Tuberville, he's a former Auburn guy. Glad to see some Auburn people helping out.
He is. Auburn's helping us. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, all three of us are Auburn people.
I agree with that. Y'all, here's the deal. Auburn knows how to pay. Let's just leave it at that. How about that? Y'all leave it there.
There's obviously been some good things and bad things that have happened to you being the mayor and kind of running your own company in the construction world.
That's right.
Off the top of your head, is there anything that kind of dumbfounded you, left you laughing, that's happened while you were mayor? You couldn't believe it, or?
Oh man, there's so many things. We ain't got time. How long is this podcast right here, huh? I tell you what, a funny story being mayor. I guess it was second, third day on the job. I didn't read the mayor manual. They don't give you no mayor
don't
manual.
Come with one.
They don't come with no mayor manual. Is that right? Get a call at City Hall, and I said, it's Robby Brown. I said, how can I help you? And we need some help at the school. I said, all right, what you got? Had a bull on the football field. I don't know. I know a lot of people probably realize. And I said,
welcome to Alabama.
I don't know if this is part of my job or not. I said, but I would like to see a bull on the football field.
Day 3.
I thought, you know what, this joker, he's going to be good for us this year. Just put him in his running back or something. I don't know. I said, well, it ought to be a win. But I got over and there was an actual bull. David Howe standing over there. There's a bull on the football field. I said, well, David, you a cattle man. I don't know. What do you want me to do about it? I said, I'll stand here and wave my arms, try to keep him from coming out the gate. By that time, we done had an audience over there, what we was going to do with a bull on the football field. And so anyway, that was kind of funny. We finally got him trapped in there and got him going. But
you rounded him up?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm not stupid. You didn't. You didn't elect a stupid mayor, did you? I stood back and watched what I did. Let David put his. But David backed his old trailer. David Howe's a pretty smart fella. He backed that trailer up. We opened the gates and got in there and tried to shoo him around that field and got into the trailer, and right in the trailer he went. And David's probably still eating steaks off that. I don't know.
Are there any pastures around?
Well, it was. They was on down there by the interstate. Most of the bulls went to the interstate, which was a bad thing. You didn't want the bulls to go to the interstate. Yeah. So we had our cops down at the interstate, but that bull there, he's
walking on the football team.
Yeah, he separated himself from those on the interstate. He knew danger. He thought, I'll just go on over here to the football field.
He thought he saw grass in his turf.
He did. No, it wasn't turf it was grass. It was actual grass. But, I guess they'd already mowed it, so he really was a disappointment. But he liked it anyway. But anyway, we got him off.
That is very strange for you, day 3 on the job.
That day 3, yeah, I think, and then the next week we get a call that lady can't get her neighbor's rooster to quit. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's stuff. So I said, well, I don't know what to tell you. I said, Papa always had roosters. I said, but sun comes up, the rooster crows, right? I mean, most time at night. We got over there. The problem was they'd put a heat lamp on the rooster, and we're in the wintertime, it's getting a little cold. So I said, if y'all cut that heat lamp off that rooster, you might not have as much trouble.
Fine.
So, but we've had some intriguing times, some funny times at City Hall.
Yeah.
It's been good though.
What about help nowadays? I know you still running some construction guys and all, and part of this whole podcast is about our, help and some opportunities out there in jobs and stuff. Do you still? I mean, you feel pretty optimistic about a lot of good jobs out there for guys, young guys.
There's a lot of smart young men in this world. We went through a little time frame that felt like there that all the young men that you hired wanted to start at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And Harold, you know as well as I do, you don't start at the top. You learn it from the bottom up, and there's value in that. And I think what these young men have got to realize, it's not all good starting at the top. If you start at the bottom and you learn that trade, that'll go with you the rest of your life.
Yep.
I mean, the rest of your life, you got to learn that. And basically that's, I was in the trenches. Tommy didn't put me at the top. He put me in the ditch with him, pulling concrete and standing up walls and things like that. And so these young men's got to realize that. But I think that script's starting to flip, because we've hired a lot of hardworking young men. And I'm going to tell you, and then this is another little shout out to Cleveland County as a whole. We used to do a lot of work out at Bynum and places like that. And I was talking to a gentleman one day, and they had that, I don't even know the name of the program, where they bring in co-ops to work and everything. He said, anytime we can get a co-op or young man to come in and work from Cleveland County, he said, we want to hire them. And I said, well, why would that be? Why Cleveland County? He said, that's the hardest working young men we have ever met.
That's good.
So we live in a great place. Yep. But what I'm challenged the young men to do is to learn the trades.
Yeah.
That's where it's at, Harold. You know that.
I know it. I talk to them all the time about it. And you've got to have a trade as you get older, so that your skill level, your mind, your ability, you don't have to actually do the work.
That's right.
But you got to know how it's done, why it's done, and you can explain it as you get older. But
well, you think about it. If you don't know how it's put together, when that subcontractor puts it together, how you gonna know it's right or wrong?
That's right.
It's quality for that owner.
Yep.
And that's mine and your job, is to oversee that and make sure we know how it's supposed to go together and make sure it's put together right.
But when I came out of college, I went to work for a company here in town as a carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'll hire you in the field. I don't have anything for you to do in the office. And I said, well, I'll take it. I need a little field experience anyway.
That's right.
So I worked out in the field, and turned out, at the time, I didn't realize it, but it turned out to be very, very helpful for me in my career. But
most definitely, I
was down in ditches digging with shovels. I mean, I worked. I ran jackhammer, the coupling on it, blowing that old grease out, got all over my blue jeans.
Yeah, those are good times right there.
I'd go home, and my wife wouldn't even put them in the washing machine. She said, I'm not putting that in my washing machine. You just got to throw them out. And I'm like, I can't buy jeans all the time.
Oh, that's exactly.
I'd come home with big old blisters on my hand, raking gravel and stuff. And she told me, she said, you got a college degree. You need to quit. Why are you doing this? And I said, because that guy is trying to make me quit. He's trying to work me so hard that I'll quit. And he won now, looking back. But I said, he's not going to do that to me. I'm not giving in.
That's right.
And I held in there and worked with that joker.
Mm-hmm.
And as time went on, I learned that he was one of the top superintendents we had at that company.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people didn't respect him because he was an old timer, hard. You know how they were back in the day.
Oh, I know.
They were hard.
Wearing long sleeves in the middle of summer.
Yes.
Yep.
And believed in work.
That's right.
Yes. They're not like today. Now, we talk about it a lot today. You can't talk to people like they did back then. They just quit. Right.
Yeah, you didn't get off at 4 o'clock either, did you? No.
And you got there about 15, 20 minutes early and got all your tools out, you drop cords and all that. His belief was when the company's paying you, he always had this little saying, when you pull that trigger on that skill saw, that's when they start paying you.
That's right.
Not
Yeah.
for you to get here at 7 o'clock and go getting the tools out. And that's what we do nowadays.
That's right.
And also, when you go put them up, you worked to 3:30. Back then, we worked to 7 to 3:30. You worked at 3:30, and then you started putting all your tools up, get them all in the trailer, get everything done. You'd leave the job site at 7. I mean, at 3:45, 3:50, sometimes 4 o'clock.
That's right. Yeah.
That's just the way it was.
Nowadays, they want all the tools.
Nowadays, they'll put all the tools up and sit on the bucket for 10, 15 minutes till 3:30 come.
That's right.
That's just the workforce we have. But I came up in the hard way, and the old guy worked us very hard. And I always told Lori then, I said, I'm not quitting because he wants me to. But looking back, he got what he wanted.
Exactly. But there's value in that. I credit Tommy Taylor for a lot of how I am today. But Tommy was one of the hardest working men I knew.
Yeah, he was old school.
But he didn't expect you to do anything that he wasn't willing to do. He was willing to get in the ditch. And I think that goes a long ways too in life. Is one, knowing how to do it, but two, be willing to do it. Be willing to jump in there and help out or whatever. But there's a lot of value in growing up in them ditches.
Oh yeah, and I just wish kids or younger kids nowadays would understand that, because you're right. They all want to come in. They all want right out of the gate. They want to be the top, and if they know just a little bit, they feel like they deserve that.
That's right.
And really, they don't know a tenth of what they need to know.
That's exactly right. I mean, look, I'm still learning today.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll come across something I'm still trying to learn today. But you're right. The young people just need to know that there's also a sense of accomplishment when we build something.
Yep.
I mean, is it not the greatest feeling in the world when you build? I mean, I used to drive my wife by things. I said, we worked on that. We built this. We did that. I know she got tired of it. I mean, because every time I kept coming home, she'd throw my pants in the swimming pool or whatever. I finally figured it out. She didn't want concrete in her washer.
Yeah.
I figure that clumps up a little bit.
Well, it does, but it helps.
I did that too. When we did Walmart renovations.
That's right.
For several years, we couldn't go in a Walmart, and I'd go in. I said, they don't have that right. That's not the way that's supposed to be, and that's not this. She said, can we just shop? And I was like, well, no, I can't, because I've estimated so many and done so many of these now.
That's right.
I just see things others do wrong.
Oh, I do too. I mean, I went in a place the other day, and the picture was hung crooked. And I said, if you don't mind, before we get to talking, I need to straighten that picture up right there.
I've done that too. Absolutely done that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we football season is here. I know everybody's excited about that.
That's right.
Coming up.
All three of us big Auburn fans.
All three. Who's under the table?
Hey, I will say I saw something pretty cool. Now, it was not a long time ago, a few years ago. You got to fly on a plane. You and Phil Webb.
We did.
With the football team.
We did.
Was Saban on that plane, or
he was? He was. Got to fly with the team and stay with the team for the whole time. Fly back with the team. That was a great experience. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
They call you and ask you if you want to ride with them?
No,
they like you so much?
Absolutely not. I did it because, you write checks to Phil Webb. Things happen. So you see what I'm saying? But no, Phil Webb is a great friend of mine, and he invited me, and, I agree. That's a once-in-a-lifetime experience right there. That's something everybody needs to see. Oh, well, Saban, it was good getting to meet him and Miss Terry and all, and we get back on the plane. I thought, man, he's sitting there. He's one of the first ones on the plane. And he's sitting there, and they brought him a bowl of pasta that was about, it looked like it was about 2 foot by 2 foot. And he's just got his head down, just steadily eating pasta. But anyway, that was fun times right there.
Yeah, I mean, you could offer me to ride on the team bus from I don't know, 35 feet, and I'd be in heaven,
Yeah. Oh, I got you. Hey, it's fun hanging out with the players and stuff. But, it was fun seeing how structured they was. And even us, when you flew with the team and you stayed with the team for that weekend, they had a guy that brought you a little laminated card, and it had times on there. It'd say from like 1:11 to 1:17, you were in this room if you wanted to be in the team meetings or things like that. And obviously you had your choice. You could wait outside, but go in team meetings. But when it said be on the bus at 1:23, you either going to be on the bus or waving at the bus. You got two options.
Yeah. 124 comes, you ain't getting on there.
Saban was, they would all talk about how strict he was and that. And
I bet
thought
he
that
was real strict.
Oh yeah, he was.
I heard Dan Muller talk one time
Mhm.
when he was at Mississippi State. He came up and he was talking about how structured he ran that program
That's
and
right.
and the things that they did and had to be in bed and
Oh yeah,
things like that and
Well, and people like that, whether it's a business owner, a football coach, when they have those expectations, they also have respect from everybody.
oh
Like
yeah.
I have a buddy who works at Alabama for their film department, football,
Gotcha.
and he said, Saban every bit of 5'6", but when he walks in, everybody knows it.
Exactly. Exactly. You had a certain way. He sent us out a letter, and you had a certain way you had to dress. You had a certain way you had to carry yourself. I mean, they was things he expected.
mm-hmm.
He didn't invite you on the trip where you act like a hooligan or something.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna act right,
Yep.
and you gonna dress, and you gonna be respectful, and that's what he expected out of his players, and that was just fun to see, because those guys knew they better be there, or they're not gonna be on the field.
Yep.
They wasn't gonna be out there at all, and everything, and then it was fun to see how Saban didn't have as much control as you thought he did, because Miss Terry had it. You seen the other side of that, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but it was a good experience, Brock.
Anything big in football coming up? Anything that you know of?
Other than I got my season tickets and my tailgate ready,
You ready, ain't you?
I'm
He's
rocking
been
and
ready for
rolling,
2
man.
months.
Well, that's what I told him. I said maybe we'll meet up at a good tailgate. Of course he'll have to go to Alabama game to see it. I know, but anyway, I told him come on out. Me and Gary Cheatwood we'll hopefully host you well.
I will say Auburn, Alabama, whatever. You go to a tailgate, that's pretty fun. The college town, the environment's fun.
It is
fun.
fun.
I didn't get to do that when I was younger. The opportunity wasn't really presented.
That's right.
And man, oh man, I did it last year for the first time, and I was like a kid in a candy shop, just looking around.
Well, it's a good time of fellowship. It's like anything else. Anytime you can hang out with buddies and eat and just watch a football game and that's fun times.
That first part you said, eat, that's my favorite part.
That's the favorite part. But I'm gonna tell you, but you got to understand, you're not gonna live forever. You got to enjoy it a little bit. Now, I grew up just working, and so I was kind of like you, Brock. I didn't do a lot of that when I was your age, but now that I've got older, I've seen a value in it that say, hey, you just have a good time.
It's okay to kick your feet up sometimes.
Just kick your feet up and go tailgate a little bit and have fun.
Well, this guy goes to football games and gets a workout in.
Really? Really?
Yeah,
It's a workout.
Well, I was telling them the other day.
we pick at each other.
Yeah. My wife wants, she's into this wearing the watch and got to get her 10,000 steps in a day. And so we went to a football game last year and we struck out when we parked down there and started walking in. And Auburn has these golf carts with a phone number on it. All you got to have to do is call.
That's right.
And $20 or something, they'll take you where you want to go.
Yeah.
So we're walking and we go by. And I said, hey, you want to get a golf cart? She said, no, we got to walk. And we're going by the stadium, going up there to eat.
It's all uphill.
And it's Saturday. To me, that's my off day.
That's right.
I've worked 5 days. I'm off.
Yeah.
So I'm going to relax, go catch a ball game. So I'm a marching and a walking. And we go by another one. I said, hey, there's another one. So I start memorizing the number on it. And I said, for
Speed
334, 72 something, I forget. I said, we can catch a golf cart. And I got money in my wallet. She's like, no, we need to walk. And I'm like, gosh, I'm lying.
So I've been telling him whatever game he goes to, I'm going to get a golf cart.
Yeah.
Drive by him like, I
And
know
wave
that
at
guy.
him.
Yeah.
See, I'd have drove by her waving at her. So when you get there, I'll be there.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to do it this year. So,
Especially when I ride by,
yeah. I said, I'm going to jump on with
got
Brock
me a
this
lemonade.
time.
I'll just
Well,
wave
I
at him.
can tell you this: don't ever go to a Tennessee game with Gary Cheatwood. You know Gary from Heflin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We go to a Tennessee game now. We just got beat. One of the greatest games I've ever been to, because it was back and forth the whole game. It's the one that tore down the goalpost.
Yeah.
We'll keep that off the headlines here, but so anyway, it's chaos. I mean, them Tennessee fans they were going crazy, and rightfully so. We'd have went crazy too. But they going crazy, and we're trying to get out of there. And we're sitting there with Milrose's parents and everything. And I said, stay by him. He's a pretty big boy. I said, we'll just go. So I grabbed Lauren up, and of course Graham was with us, and Gary, and we get out of there, and it's just chaos. I mean, they're just all over the place. And Gary said, we got to get out of here. And this little guy come by on a bicycle, a little 3-wheel bicycle. And Gary said, hey, come over, old boy, come over. And he said, we need a ride. And, it had a seat facing backwards and a seat facing forward. So it was just enough to get 4 on it. So Lauren and Graham jumped on the back, and me and Gary, jumped in the front. And anyway, he takes out riding. And I tapped Gary, and I looked down, and it said like $150 per rider. I was like, Gary said, it don't matter what it costs. We got to get out of here.
Got to get out.
Well, Gary reaches over our tap guy. He said, just get us out. The guy won't know, hey, where y'all headed? And Gary said, just as far away from here as we can get. He said, because we couldn't get no Uber. I mean, all the phones were tied up, couldn't get no service and everything. So his Joker speeds up. We didn't know it had a motor on that thing. Oh, he's moving. I mean, he's going. And next thing you know, we get on up there to the side road, and he turns on interstate. I mean, this
on
guy,
the interstate.
Man, I'm not kidding. We're running up there. I promise you, this ain't no laugh. We wasn't running 50, 60, 70 miles an hour on a bicycle.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
done reached in there and grabbed Lauren. I'm holding on to her. And then he finally got out there. He said, is this far enough? I said, well, it was far enough, about 20 miles back. But, yeah, we got out there and called Uber, and the little old Uber lady shows up. And I said, we ain't doing that again. So I said, hey, won't you just go eat supper with us? We ended up buying the Uber lady, all of her. She had 5 kids. We bought them all a steak. She stayed and ate supper with us and took us back to our hotel. I said, we're not getting caught like that again.
Yeah.
So that's the life and times.
I
of
wish
Alabama
I could have
fan.
saw you riding a bicycle down the interstate.
Oh, you asked Lauren Brown or Lauren Price. I shouldn't have said that. Hey, sorry about that, Landon.
Shout out
She's
to
a Price
Landon.
now.
Yeah.
Shout out to Landon.
Well, we appreciate y'all listening to this podcast. We've had a great time today. Happy Friday to everybody else, and we just hope that you continue to follow along this journey of our podcast. We promise that every other week it's going to get better, and we had Hollywood Star on here today, so thank y'all.